looking at this system a few years back, quite a few years back probably. September 15, so yeah, unless that sat on the shelf for a while, could be 8 years ago, we put a compressor on here. Basically been called this slow cooling. We thought the ice builders were playing up because one of them's a bit short of gas. But I've come around here now, there's got two units to do the tanks, that one's running. This one's not. The compressor is really hot to the touch. The fans are on the speed control, so they won't come on unless the head pressure comes up. So we're going to get the cover off and then put the amp probe on there. It's probably off on the internal thermal overload, so we've either lost the phase or the compressor might have died. Okay, I don't know if the camera's picking it up. The light's a bit funny and I can't see what I'm pointing at because the viewfinder's gone stupid. We've got 400 volts on live 1 and live 3. We've got 423 volts on live 1 and live 2. Nearly dropped the camera. That's still filming. We've got 400 volts on live 2 and live 3. So we've got power there, so it's like the compressor's seized up or something. Now we might have power there until it goes to start, because if we've got a really bad connection in here that's just really fuzzy, there's no current flow, so you'll have voltage, but as soon as you try to pull some current through, the voltage will dip right down. So we could still have a bad contactor, but I'm going to say the compressor's off on its internal overload. Okay, I'll just check continuity across the windings. We got nothing, so it's either completely burnt out or it's probably off on the Clixon. And I was just looking around the system, and I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but that is oily looking somewhere around this. You can see it's shiny up to about here. So I don't know, that could be a little leak, it could be a big leak. I'm wondering whether it's lost its gas and then it's been going on and off on the low pressure switch, because that's a classic one for cooking these things. It's got a really long pipe run, so if it's had a small leak over a longish time, it could have dumped all its oil out as well around the system. It's probably got like a 30 or 40 metre pipe run on it, so it could have dumped all and 2 evaporators. It dumped all the oil out. There's not enough gas in it to bring the oil back, and it has seized itself up. So that could be what's happened. If it doesn't start, what we'll do is we'll swap the phases over and see if it'll start the other way. Because sometimes you can get them to run the other way if they're seized up in one position when it's tries to go the other way. I did get another day out of a compressor doing that, because if you think about it, as the pistons, if that's the cylinder there, as the piston's being pushed up, it's loading up that part of the conrod bearing and that part of the crank. So if it's actually going around the other way, it's loading up a different part of the bearing on the conrod. It's not so worn. I did get one to run another day by just running it the opposite direction it had been for years. Once. Anyway, I don't want to start taking the other... I was coming to do some work on the ice builder. We don't want to touch that, because at the moment we've got 2 ice builders working, one not 100%, and only 50% of the tank. And if I start messing around with the ice builder, he's going to have 50% of the tank and 50% ice builders, which might mean they don't call their milking time. Yes. So if this is Duff, what we'll do is we'll take the gas out and weigh it. It should have 11 kilos in it, and then we know how short it is. You know, if it's only a couple of kilos short, I wouldn't worry that the gas is being short of gas is what's killed it. If it's only got 2 or 3 kilos in there, then it's probably being short of gas is what's finished it off, because although they're not the longest lived compressors, I'd expect them to last longer than 8 years. Whatever it is, yeah, 8 years-ish, 7 or 8 years. Anyway, I'll wait for it to cool down and reset. quick buzz, and I don't think we got any current on that one. Well, on the black wire, because I'd swapped them over just to try it running it backwards. We had 54-ish amps on there, then we had 40 something on that one, 44 on that one, 54 on that one, or something like that. Third one we didn't have anything. Now we might have tripped the Clixon before that one could pull any current, or we might have where we weren't supplying any current on the red phase. So I then swapped them back over to see if the no current stayed on the black wire, which would point to it being either a problem with the cable, the connection in that box, or inside the windings. Or if it stayed on the red wire, then it would point to it being the contactor. But I think we've tripped the overloads with Clixon before we got that far. Anyway, we'll pop the cover off in here and have a look while we're waiting for that to cool down. Previously we checked the windings, they were at about 3.1 ohms or something like that, so that checked out okay. We've checked continuity across the contactor with a multimeter and just pushing it in manually, and they all seem good. The wires look good on there, so it's possibly 2 buzzes trying to get it to start was enough to make the Clixon go out again. So we'll wait for it to reset. I'm thinking it's seized up. We've tried running it backwards, which is what we tried, so I'm thinking gas leak, cycling on the LP switch, pumped all its oil out and seized up, that's what I'm thinking. It's got an oil side glass on there, we might go around and have a look in a minute, see if we can see any oil in it. If it's done a bearing running low on oil, quite often you get a lot of aluminium shit in the sump and you can't see through the sight glass anymore, it's all dirty on the inside. Yeah, it would help if I had it on amperage. That's probably plugging it up. Yeah. Trip the overloads again. Anyway, it's pulling 57 amps or something like that, and its lock rotor's 58.3, I think. I can read that right. So yeah, we've pulled current on every single winding, so it's not like a broken wire or anything. It's mechanically seized, I think. So it's time for a new compressor. Okay, leak detector says it's leaking around here. I've shut this one off so that the air coming off the condenser wasn't blowing the gas, blowing the gas leaking out of the way. And then I've noticed this is all oily on this one, the discharge plug's all oily on this one. So this is turning into that everything everywhere all at once. Everything's buggered by the look of things. Anyway, better get this one turned back on, otherwise his milk won't be cold in time. So I'm going to go around it with the soapy water, soapy bubbles. See how bad it is, but we probably need to take all the gas out and weigh it. If there's not a lot left in there, I'll stop using that 407F. It's gone out of fashion, so we're using 449A now, so if there's not a lot left in this, I might use it as an opportunity to get rid of the 407F and put 449A in there, which is what I keep on the van now. Found it. It's actually coming out. It's coming out actually around where the brass piece is raised on with a bit of copper. Which I've never seen one of those sort of fittings leak there before. I'm wondering if it's corrosion that's done it, because they've got a slurry store over there, so you've got ammonia and sort of shit stink coming out of that, and you've only got to look at all the copper, how it's gone black, so that's something in the air that's making it do that. But it might just be, maybe make 1,000 of these things, maybe one of them's going to leak, but it's obviously been in for well over 10 years and it's now decided to start leaking. So it just makes you wonder whether its corrosion's gone up in it the copper and the braze. But yeah, it's getting quite a blob on there now. So that would be in the hot gas line coming back from the heat recovery. So yeah, it would fairly pee out of there. Right. Yeah, the recovery machine on it now. See how much gas it's got left in it. And then while it's doing that, we can get onto the wholesalers and see what they've got in stock for a new compressor. Okay, we've got about 3.8 bar in there, which is nothing. 55 psi, something like that. So it's pretty much peed all the gas out of here, I think, unless we've got a leak somewhere else as well. Okay, we've chopped that piece out. And just brazed it in there, and then we've put 120 psi of nitrogen in there. We'll leave that in there until we come back with the compressor, which I've got on order from the wholesalers. They're going to get it sent out to me with a courier as soon as possible. Okay, back out here again with a new compressor. It took a bit longer than we would have liked. The original one we ordered was sent by courier, and it turned up on its side. Apparently when he delivered it, just threw it on the floor like a sack of coal. The whole bottom of the box has broken out, and since I've unpacked this one, I know that this bit of cardboard was completely missing that the compressor sits on. So anyway, we declined to accept that one. So we've got another one, which we've fitted on there. We still had 120 psi in, or whatever it was, of nitrogen. So we've got that in, new gaskets bolted on. That's brazed up because that comes with a rubber plug. Just put a new dryer in there. Just setting up for the vacuum pump, and then we're going to wire it. Do the crankcase heater. I think it holds about 11 kilos, so probably nearly a full bottle really. I think it's, well, it probably is a full bottle. Anyway, let's get the back pump going. Right, it's just turned off. I just fired it up, trying to suck the last bit of gas out of this bottle. Should have about, well, 3.8 is what it should have in theory. I think we're just on vapor now, so yeah, we're down to 1.5 bar, 20 psi. So that's that one done. There's 4 kilos we're putting, and it had 11 kilos of 407F. We're putting 4498 in there.